Hey everybody, it's Barbie from Nellie and Ruth Designs. Welcome back. Um, Today I want to talk to you. Today is a Tuesday's Treasure Day, and I want to explain to you a little bit why I call it Tuesday's Treasure. Um, First of all, I try to do it every Tuesday, show you something new, maybe something you haven't seen, something you haven't thought about. The reason I call it that instead of Tuesdays show and tell or show and tell Tuesday is because there are certain things that I treasure, um, whether it be, vintage magazines, vintage images, and usually it does have something to do with my past, how I grew up, because all of that was a real treasure. Not everyone was able to experience, especially the younger generation. Um, they didn't have the upbringing um, that I had, and many of you had in the 60s and 70s, even some of you in the late 50s. Um, I was born in the late 50s and I had two older brothers. My parents were absolutely wonderful. And my mom was a great homemaker, a great crafter. My dad was an artist. He was a window dresser. He knew a lot about ladies' fashions. He used to talk to me all the time about how to dress, make sure you have a bag and your shoes match your outfit. Um, just a lot of that stuff. My parents were big into music. They loved all kinds of music and they watched TV when there was something on, but if the TV was not on, my mom always had her record player going. She loved Eddie Arnold, Ray Charles. My dad loved Peggy Lee. They loved Ray Conniff. You name it, they listened to it. And then my brothers, when I was, in the early 60s, mid 60s, my brothers were 9 and 11 years older than me. So I grew up with, when I was, 3, 4, 5, 6, I grew up with the Vanilla Fudge, the Moody Blues, the Beach Boys, the Beatles, all, there was just a big variety of stuff happening in my home growing up. So, um, the Tuesday's treasure comes from all that I treasure and what I grew up with, images, etc., etc. So, I wanted to show you a few things today, a couple treasures I have made, a couple treasures that um, I have saved from the past. And a while back, I spoke to you about a gal in England that sent me this magazine here, What Every Woman Should Know. It's put out by Daily Mail. Lifestyle lessons from the 1950s. Now, I believe possibly if you Google this, you might be able to buy it on Amazon. It runs anywhere from $35 to $60. I don't know if it would ship from the UK. I don't know. I've never seen this in the US, but I wanted to share this with you today. But first, before we get into this, because I could get lost in this here, I wanted to show you. I'm just going to set this aside. I wanted to show you um, again some pieces that I've made for the journal that I'm currently working on. And these collage items, they're not items, they're journal tags. They're large. And these I received from a gal on Instagram. Um, these are your I guess dividers. I mean, I come to a blank right now, but your dividers for a file cabinet or your some sort of box. These were kind of large, the index card dividers. I don't know. It must have been for a office because I really don't know. Maybe a doctor's office. What you would use a index card this large for. Now, these index cards measure what, 5 by 8, 5 by 8. So the dividers, these measure a little 5 by 8, a little bit bigger. So I love to work with these. I do not have a lot of these left, and I will be searching for these for future use. So, but I wanted to show you this collage art. All of this I took from an old, wasn't this Woman's Day, but this was a McCall's magazine. And the images that you can find in the vintage catalogs, magazines, are amazing. So this image I took from the McCalls, and then these here, the flowers, these are all of the German flower. Well, let's see. Let me show you the, I don't know if I have a sheet. They might just be separated, but these are the same sheet and flowers that I made these little pockets from. And all of these flowers come on these sheets, and you can rip them, not rip them, please don't rip them. You can cut them apart. So this one here, I made, again, this was taken from a shampoo ad. And then this here was my mom. I have a little sheet of my mom's tulle. And then I just added this behind the love cut out, and then I sewed some sequins onto it. So that's one. This will be a journaling card for my junk journal. And then this one here, again, this came, she didn't, I had her cut out a while ago, but beautiful hair, a man can get lost in it. That came from a shampoo ad. So I just thought that this was, I just love creating these images, these collage pieces. And this is ripped from, I just ripped this from an ad. And then here's another one that I created, and they're all blank on the back side, so you can do a lot of writing or journaling. This one is, can any wind blow rough upon a blossom of fair and tender? John Fletcher. And then again, this was a ad in the magazine, the McCall's magazine, for these dresses. And then this is just a description of the dresses. So I thought this was fun. This is just, to me, this is just very romantic, mysterious. And then for this here, the upper part, all I did was when I tore this was part of it. And then I wanted to have that line up here for definition. And I just ripped with my hands, and then I attached that there. So there's that one. And then this one I just think is adorable. This was another, this ad here went with the other dress ad, and I just adhered her onto the front. Again, this is a Tim Holtz, little bits and pieces. And then I do, these are old blue chip stamps, like your S&H green stamps. So yeah, these are just, these, I just love all of these. So these here are a real treasure to me. Just the images and the hairstyles, the dresses. So I wanted to show you those. And then when you make, what we're going to do in my next video is we're going to take an index card. Everyone, you know, a lot of people do not have these. So I'm going to use an index card, and I'll grab some other items, but we'll make one of these cards, one of these journaling cards with one of the vintage images from a magazine. So that'll be fun. And you can see the thought process that I put behind it with that. So this I was just flipping through a little bit, and I think these would be wonderful. These images here for a, to make some cards, individual cards. So here, you might be able to see them a little bit better if I lift it. But these are just really fun images. And this is the kind of artwork my dad did. Someday I'll show you my dad's artwork that he used to sketch and submit to the newspaper when we had a shop called Merkel and Gilman's, when they would come out with new fashions. So there's a lot of images in here. This image here would be wonderful to put on a collage masterboard that you're creating because of the texture, the colors. Right here, you could use these women in a tag. Yeah, there's so many cute, really cute images. She would be adorable on one of these larger index cards like her. She could have butterflies coming out of her hair. I may have to tag her. We may have to work with her. And again, these shampoo ads are just wonderful. This is for hair color. So I'm going to tag her right there because she would be a lot of fun to use. This would make a wonderful tag. There's so many. Here's your Simplicity magazine you could buy, 160 pages. There's a lot of wonderful, look at these gals. Wonderful, wonderful images that you can use. These are fun, again, for postcards, collage postcards. So if you run across, she'd be really cute in a gardening magazine, gardening journal, excuse me, as a tag. So if you run across, if you're at a garage sale, flea market, whatever, grab some magazines. And even if they don't have a lot of images that you don't think you could use, if you just take a look, like you might say, well, okay, so they have these stitching ideas in here. These would be wonderful for collage masterboards to make your postcards or pocket folders, whatever, because there's just a lot going on. So that's an idea there. Again, here's another Woman's Day. This would be fun. You could put these on a collage board and you'd have all of this here going on. These would be a lot of fun. So can use a lot of, this would be cute in a winter, your winter junk journal. All these fun hats and caps. So you get the idea. So when you're out and about, pick up some vintage magazines. McCall's, Women's Day, Better Homes and Gardens. So this here, I also want to show you. This is the, and I'm going to try, I've got a couple lights here. I'm going to get that one out so it's not so, let me get another light going here. No, that one's not, that light isn't working that well. But at any rate, let's take a look at this one here. And this is just a really, really, I'm going to try to get it where I don't have a lot of glare. So just hold on here. I got to fix my, yeah, that might be a little bit better. But I'm sorry about the glare if there is one, because these pages are quite shiny. But this is the magazine that came from the UK, and there's some beautiful images in here. This is one that I haven't decided yet. I would absolutely love to rip and tear this one. I could sit and look at it over and over and over again. The clothes, the images, the Queen. Absolutely gorgeous when she was a younger woman. Very pretty. Look at this. Look at this jacket she has on. you could really do a lot with this magazine here. All the sketches and images. And I have read most of this magazine. Look at these. Look at that bathing suit. So I'll just do a flip through. And then again, you know, you might be able to find this. I don't know if it would ship from the UK. I don't know Elizabeth Taylor. I don't know what shipping costs would be. But this is a phenomenal book. Look at these dresses. I went to dinner last night. We went with our best friends. He happens to be our accountant also. And I've known him my whole life. He went to school. My accountant actually went to school with my brothers. He's a little bit, maybe 5 years older than me. But at any rate, his wife and I were talking last night, and we were just talking about how times have changed, so how the dress has changed. We were at a very nice restaurant last night, and you know, Margaret and I, we dressed up. When I go out to dinner or a party, I dress up. I wear a dress and my stockings, and I always wear black tights now. They make my legs look better at my age. But I had my jewelry on, my earrings. I curled my hair, which I don't often do. Look at these beautiful dresses. And we were just talking. I was explaining to her how she hadn't heard that Lord & Taylor had closed in New York City. And one of the reasons they closed was because women no longer dress, you know, in fine dresses. And they felt that I wouldn't say they didn't keep up with the times. But I guess you could say they thought maybe they were outdated. And we were talking last night that it's just really sad that, you know, when we were even at dinner, there was ladies that came in, they had blue jeans on, you know, in a dressy sweater. There was quite a few men that had t-shirts on, long sleeve t-shirts with jeans. And, you know, my husband and her husband, they had nice winter cardigans on and dress slacks. And I don't know, it's just, it makes me sad. You know, and I'm not saying you have to have a full wardrobe, but if you had one nice dress, I don't have a full wardrobe. I have maybe 3 dresses that I can rotate. But I do have extra accessories. I have scarves, and, you know, I have my jewelry that I can change out. But I just miss, I miss this time frame. I was telling Margaret last night that every Friday night, my mom came from a large family, and her brothers and sisters, every Friday night, someone would host it at their home, and they'd put out a spread of food, and they'd have poker night. And I have a photo of my mom and my aunt sitting around their vintage table, and they all had their bottles of beer in front of them with their little glasses, but they were all dressed. My Aunt Rosie had a beautiful dress on like this, but she had her apron on. That was the only difference. And all my other aunts and my mom, they all wore their dresses with their shoes, you know, with their high heels, their pumps, not awfully high, you know. My Aunt Helen loved her stilettos. But yeah, you just don't see that anymore, and it makes me sad. Makes makes me long for days gone by. So that's why I think I just treasure, um, I just absolutely treasure these magazines. And that was the other thing. I don't know where you live, if they still have wedding announcements in your newspaper. We were talking about that last night. That, first of all, we got talking about the price of an obituary to put in our local paper, and it's astronomical. It's just stupid. But when I was younger, this is my second marriage. I was only my first marriage was very short, um, like non-existent. But I can remember when I met with a photographer and I went to our city park and he took pictures. In our papers, we always put our engagement photo. We put, who the bride was going to marry, where you worked, um, where you planned, well, the date that you were going to get married, and basically that was it. Oh, and where you were going to go on your honeymoon, where you'd plan to go on your honeymoon. We used to have that in our local paper, and that was a lot of fun because, it was always nice to find out who worked where they were going. Then, when you got married, you put the picture of the husband. Now, I got married in 84, and I put our wedding photo in the paper, and it told when we got married. It told who was in the wedding party. It described the dress that you wore. And then again, you put in where you planned on going on your honeymoon. Um, they don't do that in our paper anymore. And it's really too bad. I don't even know, and I don't even know if they put birth announcements in the paper. And I'm going to have to check on that. Um, and the other thing, when my husband was small, when he was little, I have the newspaper articles that his mother put in stating that he turned 5 on such and such a day, and his classmates came to his birthday party, and where the birthday party was held, and who attended. It was just it was just fun reading those. What kind of cake he had. Yeah, and it's just all gone by the wayside. I don't know, with Facebook, social media, everything is out there. You know everything about everybody. Um, I don't know. There's not much. There's not much mystery left. This is a pretty outfit. My father taught me less is more. Simplicity is best. Um, Crisp and clean. This is a fantastic. This is a fantastic photo. Don't marry this girl. You're not her type. Yeah, this is so. We'll finish flipping through this, and look at the. I still have my husband's. I call it a weigh station. His scale from when he was a baby. I have that down cellar. I'm gonna have to bring that up and use it for something. And my neighbor, her name was Betty Bodkin. She used to take care of me when I was little after school for a couple hours. She had a washing machine like this, and she'd roll it out and put it right in her kitchen. She always told me, she says, Barbie, do not get around that wringer. Do not put your fingers in that wringer. Yeah, I know. I'm dating myself here. But this is a wonderful, wonderful magazine. So if you can get your hands on a copy, it's really nice to have. It'll bring back a lot of memories for those who, Woolworths, self-service mobile stop. It'll bring back a lot of memories for those of you born and who lived through this era. And for those that are young and newbies and they don't know, this is a great magazine to see how we did live in the fashions. And so, yeah, so that's going to wrap it up. I just wanted to share these items with you. And like I said, in my next video, we will make, there's the queen again. Yeah. We will make some journaling cards using vintage images from either probably the Woman's Day, and we'll have some crafting time together. So thanks again for popping in and taking a look. And if you haven't subscribed, and you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. And thank you again, and have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.